Thank you. My name is Tom Haak. I'm the director of the HR Trend Institute, and we are, you could say, watching trends in the area of people and organization. What do we see as the main trends for 2018? I have recently published an article with you could say the 8 major trends. I'd like to take out 4. Number 1, I call from PTB to EI, not AI, but EI, and that is from please the boss to, you could say, employee intimacy. For years, HR people have done a lot of work to become, you could say, part of management. We want to be part of management. We want to be close to management. In a sense, caused by Dave Ulrich long time ago, and he made a nice model, but nobody really grasped it. What people grasped out of the Dave Ulrich model was, we want to be a strategic business partner, and that's why HR wanted to get close to management. And what they forgot in that process was two things basically: being close to the employees. Ulrich calls that employee champions, but also being a real administrative expert. So today the trend is backwards. HR being closer to the employees and really understanding what employees want, what the needs of the employees are, and how you can create an organization that really makes sure the wishes, the needs, the capabilities of employees are used in the best possible way. The second trend I want to talk about is productivity. Productivity is also an area that has not got enough attention in the last years. If there is really a war for talent, and the war for talent story has come up also in the past years over and over again, and I'm not a big believer in the war for talent, but yeah, there are shortages here and there. If there is really shortage in areas, you would expect, and I'm expecting that to get more attention in the coming years, you would expect more attention to productivity. If we cannot find the people, how can we use the potential and the capabilities of the people we have in a better way? Many organizations still use headcount as the measure of people, 1 or 2 heads. We need to hire additional people. I think that's an irrelevant measure in a sense. It's better to look at productivity and how can we, and what is the real, what is really what people can perform. And it has been shown that performance of people generally shows a big variety, not a normal distribution, but more about what they call a power law distribution. So more attention to productivity is clearly a trend. With the possibilities of people analytics today, and you can get a lot better view on what the real determinants are of performance of people and what the characteristics are of top performance. So trend number 2, more focus on productivity. Number 3, trend number 3, I called power to the people. It has to do with another trend which has emerged over the last years. You could say that's the consumerization of HR. Consumerization of HR is that people more and more expect at the workplace the type of experience they also have at home. but developments in the workplace generally go very slow. It has to do with the makeup of organizations. It has to do with, you could say, the traditional thinking that we should design something which is applicable in the whole organization. We should control it. We should do it top down. And I sense that more and more employees are kind of tired of waiting for things to happen. So they will take developments in their own hands. And you see it already. For example, a clear area where that's happening already is communication, internal communication, and where the organizations are thinking still in what are the communication channels, and how do we get everybody on one channel like Yammer. The people are using the communication channels they like. WhatsApp, many teams, many people in organizations use WhatsApp as a communication channel, Snapchat, Slack. So there's all kinds of different ways to communicate with each other, and people choose their own channels, and it works well even without any central coordination. Second area where I see signs of it happening is feedback, where organizations are still thinking about how can we organize feedback in a structured way, how do we design a performance management cycle that is more frequent, that is faster. People who take responsibility, they say, well, I need feedback. How do I organize my feedback in a simple way? And I want feedback on X, Y, Z, and there are people whose opinion I value. Let's ask those people. And there's simple ways to do it. Again, if you have Slack, for example, there's tools like Captain Feedback you can integrate in Slack, and you say, hey, Captain Feedback asks you, hey Tom, you like feedback on which issue, and whom would you like feedback of, and I arrange that in, you could say a couple of minutes. So communication, feedback. There will be other domains where employees will take responsibility more and more, come with initiatives, and start things going in a faster and more employee-centric way. So trend number 3, power to the people. Yeah, you asked me what is the last trend. The last trend I want to take out of the 8 I describe in my article. The last one is you could say the importance of hospitality and service in HR. Earlier I mentioned that HR people wanted to get close to management, and they forgot to be employee-centric, but they also forgot HR operations. And I think Ulrich called it in his original model the administrative expert. Nobody wanted to be an administrative expert, and that's a pity. Most people today in HR work in HR operations. And if you talk about the employee experience and the employee journey, a smooth and high-level HR operations is of vital importance, and often that's not the case. If you run a high-level HR service center, you can outsource it as well, and many companies do that. That is about IT. Do you have the systems? Do you have the processes? Do you have the automation that is possible? It's about IT, and it's about hospitality. It's about service. Do people really have a positive experience in their interactions with the service center? Whether those interactions are via their mobile phone, most likely, maybe their desktop, via in contact with a chatbot. And more service centers are introducing chatbots for the first contact, available 24/7, always able to give, not always, but often able to give good answers, but also in their interactions with people in the service center. So is it about high-level service? Is it about hospitality? And that also requires a different breed of HR professionals. Traditionally, if you talk about IT, knowledge IT skills, if you talk about hospitality, I don't know whether those are skills which are high on the on the list of capabilities of HR. So number 4 is about more focus on hospitality and more focus on HR service.